We almost did it. We're almost done. We have just 2 more stories to tell, and then we're finished with this recap stuff. Not that I haven't enjoyed it, I'm sure you have too. But yeah, we're going to be taking a look at Hermit Outcry and Redstone Infestation, and finish up everything. And then we can just relax and enjoy the show after. But first off, we're going to be talking about Hermit Outcry, which was 2 perspectives between beat-ups and Impulse and what was going on over there. I just thought it would be interesting and fun. Cool. Nobody's pointed out the Easter egg on the thumbnail of those videos. Like Hermit Outcry, like there are 2 letters that are different colors, and they're blue. And nobody's said anything about it, but yeah, that is meant to be reference to Skids. That is a reference to Skids. Like, I saw that and I was like, yep, that's what I'm doing that. Because, like, B-Dub's thing is on there, the 100, and Impulse's eye is there, and there's just cheeky little Skids in there. Yeah. B-Dub's, in this story, B-Dub's meets up with Gem and Green to talk about the paper Gem found. The papers Gem managed to steal from Mr. A before it was stolen back. I don't exactly know when. It probably was in the story, it's just I missed it, which is skipping through. But yeah, it was found and stolen again. Stolen back. Yeah. The meeting is interrupted when Mumbo sends a distress signal, but Impulse and Blake are there and able to beat them to it and defuse the situation. Before Impulse got that signal, however, he noticed a compass. Just behind the trees. Just beyond the trees. A compass. Yeah, this is why I asked kids how to, Impulse and kids how to spell that, because it's really important to me. Make sure I spell it right. It's accuracy. Yeah. The group then planned to set up a secret tunnel security system for all the bases to ensure that the men can't use the secret tunnels to sneak in. Not that it does much. But yeah. Impulse goes home to check out what he saw in the woods, and Blake, and then finds that he almost falls into a trap. He escapes, gets to Tango, almost gets captured, but is rescued by Tyler. And then, yeah, he contacts Rose because he finds out from one of the men that the men know exactly where Skids is, and yeah. He knows that Rose is, and he finds out Rose has found him, knows where he is, and she was going to tell him that, but he beat her to it. And, yeah, she promises to, move him somewhere else, a safer location, herself, personally, because, yeah, even a little worried somebody might try to intervene, you know. It would be. It's not like it has happened before. The meeting happens and there's a lockdown because an incident happened. We don't know. I don't necessarily know what that incident was. It could have been something, a little attack on Scar or something, or it's like something that would result in Devin in locking everybody down to safety. I don't know what that would be. Yeah. Scar then the next day asks Green for help. And B-Dubs pitches along, noticing Green's hesitation with his escort. It's like, yeah, he has a little bit of a trust issue. For good reason. He's been betrayed multiple times. It wouldn't be a little distrusting of somebody like that. Hopefully find somebody worth trusting. Yeah. Green has an idea for a communicator, but doesn't tell anyone. We don't find out about this in a later book. Much later book. I did eventually get to it at the beginning about it. I'm like, probably struggled with it a little bit. Finally told Scar, like, okay, get Impulses up. He made those, so he knows how to work. He knows how they work. Yeah. Impulse triggers set up trap set, like, that night, Impulse triggers a trap that was set up in his room, and they both Tango and Impulse get attacked and captured the protectors like Tyler and Blake try their best, but are unable to stop the men from taking them. But they follow them. Impulse wakes up, tries to escape tries to slow down the men from taking his friends through the portal, but gets captured again and watches as his friends go through the portal. The protectors show up, but he tells them to go after his friends rather than him. And then he gets taken to green space to be a decoy. Gets the men think, oh yeah, like if you think green's okay, then yeah, everything's fine. I think otherwise it would have been way too obvious what would have happened. No. Beatums finds Gem unable to contact Impulse and Tango. They go to Tango's base and finds the place a mess and that their friends are missing. And the escorts are nowhere to be found. They report, and the cause members work on checking the area and bringing back a report. Impulse then wakes up, finds, like, he figures out what's going on, and like he's being used as a decoy, and RJ has his friends, and finds out after trying to get Scar out of his sticky situation from being in the wrong place at the wrong time again. Shows up wanting to see Green, finds Impulse, and yeah, Impulse gets hurt, but Scar manages to get away. That's all that matters to him. That Scar got away. But then yeah, Impulse comes face to face with Mr. A, who has an eliminator for him with some nasty upgrades, like mental nasty upgrades. You can make him see whatever he wants to see. It's basically the headband, but to an extreme. Beatums finds Scar and rescues him, and they go to his base. Beatums learns that Impulse is at Green's base, and Green is captured too. And so he tells Gem to go over to Green's base to help Impulse get him out of that sticky situation, while he keeps an eye on Scar and makes sure the men don't try to attack and take him. Yeah, Impulse wakes up after being rescued by Gem, and Matthias as well. Yeah, Gem knows is the communicator, but like the communicator in the room, but like doesn't have the time to check to see where her friends are. But Impulse knows deep down that yeah, Blake and Tyler were close by, so like he reassures all of his friends that like yeah, they're fine. And then Matthias goes out next day to double check, and he's like, yep, hey, he's right. Yeah, Tyler and Blake were able to step in time with help. RJ gets captured during that too. So yeah, RJ gets captured and sent away where he won't be found for quite a long while. Yeah, but yeah, during this event, like before their friends are able to return, Scar and Impulse are attacked, and yeah, the men were after Scar, sent by Gerald, who was writing to like Green and Tango later that he had sent those men to hurt Scar, but Impulse has been there and stopped that from happening. But it wasn't very clear at first. They rescue their friends, but it comes at the last minute because Gerald finds them and attacks both Green and Tango, and Tyler and Blake manage to get them out of the world. What's Spruce Village? Yeah. Yeah, figure that out. Oh, yeah. RJ is very connected to those like Eddie, Martin. Not really Jimmy, but Jimmy too. They managed to escape, and Impulse finds them, gets them inside, but Gerald catches up with them. Impulse tries to distract him and slow him down, but Scar comes out of the secret hiding place, revealing where it is, trying to help Impulse. He almost, he gets grabbed, snatched by Gerald, and the man threatens to hurt him, but Devin steps in and captures him, pretty much. Grabs him, captures him, pins him down, but the man had sent back up. So, yeah. The hermits feel like it's better to go downstairs into the secret tunnels where they'd be safe, But it turns out they walked right into a trap. Of course. Yeah. And Jem and Matthias get a distress call. B-Dubs follows them back to Jem's base. And yeah, they find Blake, Tyler, and Devin is dealing with Gerald. Blake and Tyler are down in secret tunnels trying to clean up the mess down there and get their friends out. B-Dubs and Jem decide to pitch in and help. Get them out. Yeah, Pulse gets a nice reunion with Skizzleman. Skizz. That's only the beginning. Alright, let's start Infestation. Let's go. Yeah. Green meets up with Tango and Impulse to talk about the plan of action of what to do. They decide to work on setting up a more secure meeting hall as a safe haven. Yeah, but the girls are caught up with an emergency regarding their friends, so they are unable to make it, but they are a-okay. Yeah. Graham learns B-Dubs has been up to something, but he hasn't said anything about it or told many people about it, which, yeah, we'll get into that in a second. Green checks up on Tango to see if anything was going on. I've been unusually quiet. Again. Yeah. And later, the next day, I'm guessing, one of Green's backup crew members tries to lure Green into a trap, but Green manages to escape with the help of Devin and Caden, who were having a secret private meeting. And Green sprains his ankle, but Scar is able to patch that up real quickly. And Devin comments about their healing factor. Yeah. Their healing factor. Yeah. After Green's ankle is healed, Scar and Green himself and the escorts go over to the meeting hall where Tango and Impulse are waiting for them. They work on setting up the security system and other stuff to protect themselves for the meeting hall in case that ever gets ambushed again. And then they go to leave. Tango managed to get home safely. And Green is about to get home, but then he learns that Impulse and Scar are in trouble, so he goes back against Kaden's wishes, but Kaden goes after him anyway. Yeah. And he manages to find his friends, try to get him out of the situation. They almost escape, but then Devin grabs him out of the sky, and Green finds out that he's been shot by a redstone virus infected tipped arrow, and he sacrifices his life to protect Green. Scar runs off. Green goes after him to make sure he's okay, and then he's not alone in case the men try to attack him. And then once that's sorted, Green goes to B-Dub's space with Scar and Caden. Yeah, they go to B-Dub's space and come up and talk about stuff. B-Dubs reveals that he's been working on getting rid of the redstone virus, and Impulse admits that, well, he was captured as he mentioned during their meetup in the meeting hall, but also he mentions like Mr. A might have used that redstone virus to torment Skizz, because like he can feel that his friends in distress, and he does not like that. Blake is put in charge by Matthias, who is still away, and yeah, he asks Scar whether or not he wants to have a temporary escort or intern for a short amount of time, and Scar is like, yeah, that's fine. Like, honestly, it's fine. Yeah. The backup crew members don't seem to like this idea because they don't want to be listening to a boy, kid, inexperienced. Yeah. They try to overpower Blake and, well, they promise to have a chat with him, but then immediately they go after the Hermits. B-Dubs and Scar manage to escape, but Impulse and Green are captured. B-Dubs and Scar go to Tango's base, where they are met up with Caleb later. So, yeah, Caleb. Yeah. He's a nice kid. He really is a nice Skid. Yeah. Grian managed, when Grian finally gets a chance to escape, he managed to outsmart the intern that was there to give him food, and he finds Impulse down a couple of floors. So like there's floor 1, which is technically 2 floors, floor 2, 3, about 6 floors, and there's the last floor. That's where Skid is. They manage to contact Beat-Ups, who promises to get help. The men aren't happy about it and threaten to hurt Impulse, and yeah, all that stuff. Also, Pat may or may not have been referenced. Yeah. They find out from Mr. A that Skid is, sure enough, in another cell nearby. Like, he's weak and in a lot of pain. Impulse is worried about him. Yeah. But Grian wants to wait it out to make sure that they're ready for when the other guys are here, so that they have better odds of escaping. Impulse acts when one of the scientists decide to do an experiment on Skiz. Yeah. The man is surprised that the doors are unlocked, but yeah, the men left it unlocked for a test, and they managed to get out, managed to escape with the use of pickaxes and all that. But as they get out and try to get Beat-Ups to locate them, they get ambushed again. Grian wakes up to find Beat-Ups and his escort, technically Skiz, who is doing a lot better now because they have an antidote. Yep, they got an antidote that works. It doesn't necessarily need to use weakness, but can use helps everything. Yeah. Impulse had been recaptured, and Grian goes after him. He finds 2 escorts who are looking for him, and they go down to the last floor and stop the man from throwing himself and Impulse into a pit of redstone infused silverfish. It is disgusting. Do not think about it too much. Yes, it might be inspired from a Michael Bay story, but yeah. They managed to get out of there, and yeah, they haven't talked about what to do next. And Skiz is fine. He's going to recover. He's going to be fine. It's going to be great. Anyway, that's all. That's it. That's everything. That's everything up to this point. And yeah, next week, we're going to go right, like, or a few days, actually. In a few days, we go right into the Lost Hermits. I don't think I have to say too much about that. You know what that is. I think you know what that story is about without having me to explain it. But who? We'll see. Alright. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to subscribe so you know when the next chapter comes up for the next story. Yeah. Leave a like and let me know if you want to see more things like this, or you just want me to talk about certain topics inside of Clockwork Chronicles that you need more explanation on. Just let me know. I would be more than willing to spend a little bit of time working on that and trying to flesh out this story for you guys so that we can all be on the same page. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See you in the next one. Whatever that might be. Bye.